We are in part what we remember. We are in part our past. At any given moment, we act on the basis of, in large part, what we remember. And you cannot artificially amputate certain parts of history. Otherwise, we are not able to build for ourselves a decent, dignified future. So this is why it's important. OSA stands for Open Society Archives. Originally, this was the collection of Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. And so we have an archive here which has materials in 32 languages, documents related to violations of human rights, mass graves, ethnic cleansing. We have the archive of the International Helsinki Federation, which was the predecessor of Human Rights Watch. The archive of Index on Censorship, which is the most important journal devoted to the issue of freedom of expression, freedom of the media. We have tens of thousands of films, Nazi propaganda films, the most horrific and anti-Semitic propaganda films from the 1930s. We have American anti-communist propaganda films from the 1950s, Soviet propaganda films from the 1920s, and so on.
This is the main repository of OSA. A few years back we used to call it the Grave of Communism, but it's also the repository of human rights violations and war crimes. This is a collection of amateur photographs from 1989, taken from the only company for developing films, the giant mammoth company run by the state. As far as we know, this was also a way for the Communist Party and the then government to control private activities of the people. We have over 140,000 amateur photographs, an imprint of the Hungarian Society of 1989, the year of transition from communism to democracy. I feel a deep sadness when looking at these photos because of what the environment looked like, because of the way we celebrated our family events, because of the way we lived 20-something years ago, although perhaps at that time this was not so obvious.
We are not only an archive, but more like a laboratory. We are really interested in ourselves. We are very self-reflective. We are interested about the nature of documents. And you can use the archive even without coming to us. It's a tool for scholars, for researchers, for students, for forensic or legal purposes, for human rights organizations working under extremely dangerous circumstances. So when the police raids the offices of the human rights organization in Chechnya or Zimbabwe, they do not find anything. You can, in this way, merge physically dispersed archives and recreate in this digital universe physical archives that are dispersed in different physical locations in the world. Issue of the past, because of its horrific nature, is still around us. Somehow it's hovering above our head. The fact that something happened already is not a guarantee against its return. As a historian, my duty is to try to help all of us to understand what we did in the past, what happened to us, to learn as much as possible from it, to understand what's happening to us when it happens. You have to live with the feeling that anything can happen again and again and again.